Ordinarily, I don't care what a manufacturer decides to call any of its models because, to me, you could drive a Ford Sandwich or a Volkswagen Pinecone and chances are they would still look and feel like a Ford or a Volkswagen. But I am finding it quite hard to not prejudge the new Hyundai purely because of its name. That is the Creta. And that is quite simply a horrible name. But let's put that aside and focus on the fact that this is Hyundai's contender in the very competitive compact SUV segment, going up against the likes of the Ford EcoSport and Renault Duster. So even if it had the most agreeable name in the world, it would still need to be a very good car in order to survive. For me, the styling of the Creta is quite interesting. Not because it's fantastically beautiful or particularly eye-catching, but because to me it looks like the kind of car that a machine would design if you asked it to design a car like that. So while it's not unattractive, there is a lot about it that is fairly obvious, quite generic. Raised ride height? Check. Bold front end? Check. Some chrome accents and some details to give it that chiseled off-roader attitude? Check. Like I say, not unattractive, but really nothing special either. It's as unlikely to offend anyone as it is to win any design awards, but overall, it's not a bad-looking thing. Built on a unique platform, the Creta sits below the Tucson in the Hyundai lineup. In terms of size, it's a match for the Mazda CX-3, although it does seem to be a little more substantial than that car. From a styling point of view, there may not be a lot to talk about with the Creta, besides the fact that there's not a lot to talk about. But the interior is a different story because there are quite a few things to focus on. Nice two-tone seats, good spec, gigantic touchscreen in the middle, and Hyundai's typically good ergonomics. And while those things dominate your view when you first get in, after a while you start to pick up on a few of its shortcomings. For example, some of the plastics are on the budget side, and curiously, there's no cruise control amongst all this tech and 370,000 Rand price tag. That said, there is sat-nav and Bluetooth as standard, as well as rear park distance control with reversing camera. It's an easy-to-use setup, and there's a general sense that things have been solidly put together. And focusing on the practicality and general comfort levels, your faith in the Creta is restored. There's plenty of space all round, the driving position is good, and the boot will pack a decent amount of gear. The Creta lineup consists of 3 models with 1.6-litre motors. There is a naturally aspirated petrol with a choice of manual or automatic gearboxes, or our test car, which is the turbo diesel that is only available with an automatic gearbox. Not having driven the petrols though, I'd say the diesel is the one to go for. Much like the styling, that's not because there's anything fantastic about it, but rather simply because it has more power than the petrol, but still only really delivers what you need. The Creta isn't built for a thrilling drive, but what it delivers should keep most people happy on a daily basis. It seems that this car has been built to tick as many boxes as possible without really excelling at any of them. The engine puts out 94 kilowatts, 260 newton meters. 0 to 100 is around 12 seconds. It gets a bit shouty along the way. The automatic gearbox has got a good set of ratios to get the best out of the engine, and that's if you're in traffic and on the open road. And the whole thing goes about its business without a lot of fuss, but also without much fun either. Maybe I'm asking too much of the compact SUV, but it just feels very workmanlike. Rocks up, does a decent job, breaks for tea at 11, at lunch at 1, punches out on time, repeats the next day. Surely there must be something special about this thing. There is, and it's the ride setup, which is a great balance between comfort and composure. It takes care of difficult road surfaces with relative ease, the steering feel is spot on, and the whole setup feels just right. And that's regardless of whether you're sweeping through some fun countryside roads or trudging along in traffic. The ride in the Creta generally feels really good. The steering is easy at low speed but weights up nicely as you pick up the pace. Those are the standout things on this compact SUV that can otherwise look and feel quite generic. Interestingly though, it occupies its own little space in the marketplace. Size-wise, it's a match for the Mazda CX-3 or the Honda HR-V, but you don't get either of those in a diesel. So if you want something with similar spec and a similar SUV execution, you then have to look at something like a Nissan Qashqai or a Renault Kadjar, both of which are slightly bigger, but a lot more expensive. So while there's quite a lot that's ordinary about the Creta, it is also quite special. The Creta may not be much to look at, but the 1.6-litre diesel offers decent drivability. Its real strength, though, is its ability to deliver a drive with sure-footed comfort. Steering feel is also a highlight. Its combination of good spec and top value means it's difficult to pin down an exact competitor for the diesel Creta. Its nearest competitors are all bigger and more expensive.